It was said that the oldest among them held the secret to immortality, and that it was the secret that kept the land from drying, from crumbling under the weather of a world that had lost its way along its own axis. With this knowledge, the rest of the land could be saved from drowning in the color of blood, and there would be no need for the shadows of things long gone.
There would be life, Richard.
As the story went, there would be life. And now, as his cousin drove the grimy owner-type jeep into the dying jungles of Batangas' heartland, Richard Servacio caused eloquently under his breath. He had come here looking for a bucolic view of the countryside and warm afternoons at the beach, notions of paradise after 2 weeks of getting wasted on various alcoholic drinks in his apartment. Totoy's text messaged him out of the blue, but by then, Richard had already realized how screwed up he was, so he'd thought,
What? Things can only get better from here on.
and here he was. He would have tried to shape words to describe what he was feeling, for he was supposed to be a trained speaker perfectly at home with vowels and bilabials, but at the moment, only expletives pronounced themselves in his mouth. The sun's messing with my eyes, he swore, kneading his face, and there isn't anything in the trees ever.
Ano ga, insan? Are you okay? Alright.
There was nothing like Totoy's English to push anyone over the edge. Richard knew that his own Tagalog wasn't to die for, but Totoy speaking like this was no way to treat a cousin from Manila. He could not quite tell Totoy that.
No, I'm not alright, which is why I was here in the first place.
Richard should have been facilitating corporate seminars in Makati. But 2 weeks ago, his boss showed a pile of evaluation sheets that revealed in no uncertain terms.
There are a lot of better speakers than you.
He wouldn't have minded so much if it had been the first time he'd been told that. But it had been.
You are a lousy speaker.
You are fired!
You are a lousy, no-good motivational speaker.
You are fired!
There are a lot of better speakers than you. Lousy, 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 good, lousy, 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 good, good, lousy, 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 good, lousy, lousy.
Motivational speaker.
Get out! Next!
It had been the 5th time and the 5th company in Richard. He was only 25,
So much for a career.
he said. But Richard believed he was on the road to success. And now, he was literally in the middle of nowhere. Richard ran his hands through his hair, feeling for lumps, evidence of the 7 million times he'd banged his skull against the Jeep's steel frame. He wondered,
Am I having a concussion or something? Or do we keep seeing black spots in the trees?
they were little more than shadows. But every time he tried to focus on them, they disappeared.
Optical figures? Maybe? I mean, it's not like it's a flutter. Ah! Ow! Ah, God. Ah. What now?
Unfazed, Totoy jerked the jeep back on track, his hair flapping, his lips curled in a grin that showed off his crooked teeth.
Where was I? Right. Honestly, I don't know what would have happened to me if Toto didn't invite me on a vacation. I mean, how do you even handle getting fired 5 times in just a year? I certainly don't. Maybe a barrel to my mouth is a better plan than this? I don't have a gun though. My ceiling's too low for me to hang myself. Ew, where are we going again?
Sa Martinez! Didn't I say?
Parang namamatay na aso.
Richard, we're not really here for a vacation. I mean, technically, we are. But we're almost here for an errand.
Errand?
To deliver a gift.
Uy, Totoy, kami ay uuna na.
Kaya muna mag-impis ng lamesa at kami nagmamadali na.
Yes, Daddy and Mommy.
May payas-yas ka pa dyan. Madami baga ang tao doon?
Saan?
Abay, saan pa ba?
Tori,
Ay, sa Martinez.
Tori? What's Martinez?
Martinez changes anyone's life forever, my guy. That's what you call it. Destiny!
To think that Totoy had just passed the board exams to become an engineer bewilders Richard. Totoy had been going around smiling stupidly at him, his right eye constantly winking under his shaggy hair, and that whistling. That awful whistling. But they were just the same age, with Richard being only a few months older. But that's the one thing they had in common. Richard had not visited the province in years, not since high school when his father died of a stroke and his mother went off to earn lyres in Italy. He had loved his dad, as any son would, and yet he had not been very affected by his death. What shocked Richard about the whole thing was not the stroke itself, but the fact that something unexpected had happened to his father at all. The man had probably never felt anything so exciting. Richard had never understood his father's placid disposition, his contentment with the barest of lifestyles, his devotion to the ones he'd worked for an eternity.
Duty, Richard.
there were things that needed to be done, or how anybody could stay rooted to the same place they had lived in all their lives, like us.
Servicio clan is dead?
Uh-huh, we're the oldest family in the village, and our fields would perish without them. But regardless, we were not earning more than the other farmers.
But our neighbors have houses 5 times bigger than ours.
Richard had aimed to reach for the top all his life, and he could not understand these people whose only ambition, it seemed to him, was to reach 100 years old and die on the same land where their child had formed his first crooked tooth. At least the neighbors had sense enough to send someone from tier households abroad to greener pastures that delivered prosperity.
Shadows again. You know what? Why am I even here? The flies are as big as my fingernails. The animals smell like they're taking a bath in their own crap. And stranger. The stranger. Stones that are as red as blood. Man. I gotta cut this. Stop thinking about it.
Once, there was a stranger who walked through a village. These days, nobody knows how this stranger looked like. Not the height, not the build, not even the gender. Only the voice lingers in the memory. A voice that whispered like the bamboo leaves, sweet as a woman's. It was said that it came from the mountains. And with her coming, the earth began to unfurl with every step.
Unfurl?
Blossom Richard. Originally, the land that our village was laid on was pure rock and sand. The only trees that we had were coconuts. But when the stranger came, she churned the earth till it was fertile. The vegetables and the flowers blossomed. She caused the crops to grow, trees to yield fruit, fish and livestock to be bountiful. She dug out the sweetest of waters and conjured mild seasons, filling the ears of the villagers with a quiet desire to work and dream. The seedling bloomed like miracles on the place where she walked.
Did the stranger stay, Father?
Well, the village asked her. She could not, of course.
But why?
Because she has other villages to visit, Richard.
What did she say?
She suggested a contract, a deal. The head of the village asked what kind of deal it was. The stranger said,
Remember.
Remember?
Remember, and your village shall continue to flourish.
But what if we forget? For our memories die sooner than our bodies.
Then tell your offsprings, and in this way, nothing can die.
But what if they forget? For our offsprings inherit all our frailties.
And then, a cloud overhead stretched across the entire village. The people looked up to see the shape shatter into 1,000 birds, small and black, like the shadows of memories. They flew down to the edge of the village where stood a young acacia tree. Then, the stranger was gone.
Wake up!
No! What happened? What happened? Where are we?
Insan, you stay there. You don't have to come.
Lul, mukha mo. What are you even gonna do with that?
To get the steel bar, it's for for one. Yemas. Ano nga ba? It's for bitag.
What are you even gonna set up a trap for? We're in the middle of nowhere!
For offering for Martinés.
Hush. Why? What is it?
We'll set our trap here.
Totoy, the hunter he is, set up his trap. He strolled along the brook towards a small fox. He strung his ropes. He hid under the bushes where he set up a few more knots involving the stems of young trees and pieces of rock. Richard peered over his cousin's shoulder.
Is this what they teach engineers now?
Richard backed off after smelling the sun-browned smell of a peasant that Richard has associated with.
Are you joking, Insan? I've been catching animals since I learned how to walk.
This is out of one childhood.
No, Insan. It's you who missed out on many things. I'm sure that you will learn from Martinés. Move back a few meters.
Puro Martinés. Tao pa ba yan ng lugar? Baka naman niloloko
It's
mo.
here. Inside the poles.
What are we trying to catch here again?
Martinés likes lizards. Ones like this.
It's not a toothpick, man.
Wanna say that once you actually tried it?
No. I'm fine. Thank you.
Inang Nitang told me before that long ago Martinés also liked musang.
Alright. What's a musang?
Small wild cats with dog faces. Smells like perfume or those popcorn they sell at the carnival. Plenty of things you don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
You know, long ago our grandfathers would catch musang and offer carcass to Martinez. But now, no more. No more musang in this forest, only lizards.
I work as a language coach for 2 call centers and speech trainer for 3 corporations. What am I even doing here? The sky is beautiful. And the start of the day would keep this clear. Just imagine the leaves from the trees just really brings out the Did you see that?
What? Insan?
A bird. It had like a crown on its head. I swear, it was gonna swoop down to us.
Insan! You returned just in time.
But I just saw a huge bird.
Hush, Insan. We might disturb the bayawak. Insan, did you know that you're the oldest of our generation? Tata Onsing is dying already. And now you're here.
Tata Unsing? You know what? What are you even talking about at this point?
Tata Onsing, he's the oldest brother of Tata Domeng.
And who's Tata Domeng now?
Insan, Tata Domeng is Kwan, great-grandpa. Lolo sa tuhod.
Yeah. Sure. I remember it now. But are you sure they didn't see a large black bird?
Finally.
Tote crept up towards the noise, running his fingers along the rope that he had knotted around shrubs. Then,
Huli ka, boy. Pakuha ako ng sako sa likod ko.
Shouldn't we kill it? I mean, it's putting up a fight.
Martinez will do it. Don't worry. Enough time and it will know it is caught. I almost forgot. Please pick some flowers from the water. We're on the way to Martinez.
Wala pa kang matusan. Mas mahigi pag nasa bahay na lang ako. Let's go. Tatabi man lang ang sanmig o kaya man lang soju. Pero hindi. Nasugubadan na ako na puro lamok at putik. Bayawak pa. Oh, man. Are these good enough?
Sakay na.
Where's the lizard?
Likod.
And so, the sun and the storm took turns in their assault of the village. But the water remained sweet, and the land was always green and golden. Whenever the little bird rose like blowers from the acacia, the village knew in their hearts what they had been given. When the head of the village died, the villagers turned to the children of the clan. They said, "You are young and can remember well. Which one of you will remember in your ancestor's place?" And then the oldest of the children would say, "I will, for I know about the world than anyone else."
Were there any more strangers, Father?
Yes, Richard. Many strangers came as generation passed. They have gold and fire and books. Pale men in old clothing tried to change the village with their own gifts. But the village survived despite the false gifts, and people still received much abundance, until the day came when the last villager who remembered died.
What happened next, Father?
No one could replace him. The youngest of the clan were babies back then. No one else would take up the burden. The blackbirds from the acacia tree shrouded the sky, and the villagers began to forget. And then the disaster struck. For many nights, the sound of grief was so deep that the soil's heart broke in a flood of despair. Grief was so strong that the waters colored the rock with blood. Grief was so sharp that it took the mountains and ripped apart the heavens. Then the stranger returned. Where she walked, the seeds of the earth broke and blossomed. She called one of the birds that nested in the acacia, a final gift, Richard. She opened the bird's beak. From her bag, she pulled a silver knife. With fingers so delicate, the air around them danced. The stranger pulled out the bird's tongue.
This is how you will be reminded.
Richard,
God, not again.
You okay?
Yeah. Just hit my head on my, on your roof.
You know, insan, there is no such thing as miracles. No coincidence either. Reap what you sow, as they say.
Crap.
Why did you agree to come home, insan?
I'm not home, you moron. I'm just visiting.
Insan?
Yeah. Quarter life crisis.
What's that, insan?
It means I'm doubting my job.
Ah, then you are lost.
Something like that. But I guess a hotshot engineer wouldn't know anything about getting lost.
I'm only an engineer, so I can take care of inang anytang.
My mother, she can't come home yet. She's earning so much there. She wanted to. But I told her she was earning much there.
Joe Rudy love is home.
Yeah, man, I know. Dad loved everything in here. But doesn't mean I have to, though.
Insan. You don't know anything. Give me the flower. Where's the steel bar?
Besides the sack. Hey, you sure you don't want me to carry the sack? Or even the steel bar?
Waste. That way to Martinez. Pass this red rock into the coconuts. Come on. Unless you want to go home by yourself.
$4:27. Still early, I guess. The red rock. Hey, wait up!
The stranger left the blackbird to the villagers, but nobody knew where it was kept, or what become of it. But what they do know is that the stranger left, crying. The earth began to unfurl with her every step. Trees took root where she walked. She spoke through the winds, through the trees, through the whispers.
Shouldn't we have brought a flashlight or something? The sun's setting and it'll be completely dark once we get back.
You see that tall acacia? That's the hut of Martinez. Besides it,
I mean, it's not totally tall, per se. Just filled with thick roots. Yeah. But where's the hut? Where's the hut, though?
look closer.
Oh. Oh. That's... Oh, that's a beautiful hut.
As they say, we'll deliver our gift, then get out of here.
Now talk about destinies.
No.
Okay. Hey. We're at least near enough.
Hold this.
Okay.
Just a bit more. Let's go.
Hey. Is it me? Or are there more red rocks near the hut? I guess the Martinés organized them to look like rows of red. Get it? Rows of red. Yeah, okay.
Insan.
Finally! So, are there really red rocks near the hut, or is it just me?
Are you superstitious?
Me? Superstitious?
You know, sometimes the coconut farmers say, at night, they hear the crying infants and children from the rocks.
You're kidding. You're kidding, right? You're kidding. Oh, that's messed up.
You don't know about them? Rudy told you nothing.
I was dreaming.
The Martinés!
The birds?
They're called Martinés. Like the musang. They are now rarely seen here. Related to many birds, only the Martinés have crest on their head and white streaks on their wings.
Like crowns in their heads.
When Martinés are young, people can teach me how to speak by snipping their tongues bit by bit.
Wow, that's man.
You were saying, Insan, that you were lost. Not anymore. Memory is a fragile thing.
What are we doing at the center of
The oldest of the youngest must take up the burden.
Coincidence? I mean, there was probably a war or an epidemic, right? I mean, lots of people die in wars and epidemics. Like I said,
Destiny.
oh, shit. Oh, man.
Inside. Martinés speeding.
Pendyada! Pakawalan mo ako!
Insan.
Tonyo, bigyan mo ko ng ilaw.
Are you sure?
Patayamos, Tonyo. Is that? Is that? Is that?
Insan. May tataon saying he has known the secret for far too long. Hence, is disposable.
Pakawalan mo ako. Pakawalan mo ako.
Martinez told him, and him only. Then, after him comes you.
Pakawalan mo ako. Pakawalan mo ako.
Alam mo, insan, nung pinanganak ako ng mas maaga sa'yo, tatanggapin ko ang sikreto. Pero hindi. Ikaw mo nga. Adjunct engineer ako. At hindi ko alam ibig sabihin ng pagkawala. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi ka na nawawala.